What's up, everyone? All right. It is Friday night, and you know what that means. The bar is open. Woohoo! I am so excited. I love this time of the week. I love it. It's just, it's nice. It's nice. It's like we get to hang out with friends and just chill and drink. And that's my favorite part, drinking. All right. We have a oh my God. We got a bunch of people. I'll give some shout outs. Look at this. We got Tiffany. I'm going to pop them up on screen. Present. Nice. We got John Kennedy. Donna's in the house twice. Eric's here. And he going to do it this as well. Hey, Pam. Hey. Oh, man. Hey, I wasn't sure if I'm going to catch you. I'm glad you're here. Diana's here. Oh, eat the chip. Wow. Taryn's here. Hey, Fiddler. Nice. Carol's here. John without an H. All right. So tonight it's going to be a mishmash of a show. We're combining up a couple things. It's going to be an open mic night, but it's not going to be just me. I'm going to have a guest on, and a guest that you guys know well. You know who he is. It's JD. He's going to come on in a second. But he's also going to torture himself. So last year, you know what? I'm going to save that for when he comes on, and we'll explain what's going to happen tonight. But he's going to do a little challenge, and it's to help raise money. Again, we'll get into it after the rules, because we have to go over the rules, because there must be some kind of rules.
Why, Lord? Why? There's rules for everything.
Because we got Russian guys with porn links that pop in, and I mean,
Happy birthday, Melissa.
Save the links before you boot them, just in case.
I do. I keep copies of them.
Okay, never mind. All right, so let me get through this. Rule number one is you are welcome to ask any kind of questions that you want, especially tonight, because it's the open mic night. It's your show, pretty much. Rule number two is please keep in mind, I don't know everything. My guest does not know everything. We know a little bit about a lot of things, so we can give you our opinions. And I'm struggling with my words. I think I'm too sober.
Oh, drink.
Energy. Oh,
Energy.
Right. Oh. All right. So, we can look stuff up and we can learn together, or if it's something that's involved with more time, then I'll write it down in my handy notebook, which I have right here, plus my new notebook. Look at that. Oh, that's me.
Nice.
I'll write it down and I'll look it up and I'll get back to you later. Rule number three is we follow the Patrick Swayze rule here. Be nice. You guys can talk and discuss in the chat room. You can debate and disagree. That's cool. But when it comes to name calling, that's when we draw the line. We'll give you a warning, but if you can persist, Donna will boot your ass out and you won't be able to come back. That's it. That's just the way it is. And
it happens, and it's really hard to get back, so try not to get
yeah,
back.
we accidentally bumped one person, and it took like
Poor John.
a long time to get him back. Anyway, number four, if you have a question, please do us a favor, put a Q in front of it and in front of your comment, and that way it helps Donna pick it out among all the other comments, and we can get right to it. And we've been doing great with that. Between Donna joining the show and the Q rule, we've been hitting every question that comes out. Pretty much, right? Yeah. All right. And rule number 5, which is my favorite rule of all time, drink up. That's right. Clink. All right. We're going to bring on JD. And we're gonna chat a little bit about what he's going to do. So let me just pop him in here. What's up, buddy? How you? Oh, wait, I muted your mic. Sorry, because I was hearing an echo of myself as soon as we started. So I muted you. Anyway,
we know how much you love hearing yourself talk.
I know. I mean, actually, I don't. Do you ever do that? I mean, because you do a podcast, do you get sick of yourself?
For the longest time, I would not listen to my episodes past editing them as I was recording them, because I was like, oh, I hate the way I sound. I can't do it.
What are you doing?
Sorry, I was messing up. That was me. I'm gonna stop with the comments. You do them.
But yeah, I've gotten more used to it. Just from the exposure. so it doesn't
What
bother me as much now.
I mean, like when I do videos, like the videos that I do either for my YouTube channel or when I do them for Skeptical Inquirer, like by the time I'm done that video, done editing it, I will never watch that shit again because I'm so sick of looking at myself and hearing myself that I've never listened to one of these shows back.
Hey, John.
Something
Yeah,
I don't
I mean
do.
that's pretty much how I am with I don't listen to my own podcast mostly because it's like, well, I already know what it's about because I recorded
Yeah,
it.
right.
And yeah, pretty much by the time that I'm done editing it, which it usually takes me pretty much a full day.
Yeah, me too.
I'm like, no, I'm done. I don't.
Yeah, I usually sit here because my videos, when I like to do my videos just like I do lives. I just jump in the seat and I just start doing them and I edit as I go. And then yeah, by the end of the day, it's usually like 9-10 hours later when I'm done. And then I just move on. So what band shirt is JD wearing?
It's not a band shirt. It's the clothing brand Blackcraft. So they slap their logo on like all their shirts.
So
some of the times it's cool. Other times it gets kind of obnoxious just having the logo all over the place.
Right.
For people that might not know who you are, because you are one of the Skeptical Help Bar locals, and that's what I call the people that frequently come here. They're locals. You know, you walk into the local bar and you have your locals. You know, you're one of the locals, local yokel. So give us just a short like summary of who JD is.
So I am a writer for Skeptical Inquirer, both the print and online magazine. I also write for AIPTcomics.com.
Mm-hmm.
I have my own podcast, The Devil in the Details, which you can find on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, pretty much anywhere, and Spotify if you so choose. I write and do a lot of episodes on subjects like exorcism, demonic possession, the history of the mass hysteria known as the Satanic Panic, and a couple of my articles I've kind of dived into investigating claims for haunted houses, not ghost videos or ghost photography, but well, I guess there was that one.
Yeah, the one, the vent.
Yeah,
the one in the vent. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, that and then the lamp, the moving lamp that you helped.
Yeah,
well, that was part of the. I guess that was technically part of the haunted house because it was allegedly supposed to be Katharine Hepburn's haunted house that was formerly owned by Boris Karloff, but then it actually turned out that that was the house next door. That was a fun one. That's probably still one of my favorite articles that I've written.
I love that kind of stuff. I love getting into the mystery like that, and just it's so much fun.
Well, especially because with that one, it took not probably not like an outrageous amount of time to solve, but it was jumping from like book to book to book,
right?
Biography to biography, picking up bits and pieces here, and then one of the crucial details that I did find was there was an author, I can't remember his name, which is terrible. I'm sure I have the book here somewhere, buried in my collection. Oh, here it is.
Your office is starting to look like mine.
Gregory Mank, Bela Lugosi, and Boris Karloff.
Oh, nice. That's a thick book.
Expanded story of a haunting collaboration.
Wow. Nice.
So there was a mention in there about Katharine Hepburn's account. I don't remember. There was another biographer that I reached out to, and I don't remember if it was him or if it was somebody else, and that's terrible. I feel really, really bad. But he actually had a collection of newspaper articles from the time that he shared with me. So, there I had like real concrete evidence of, okay, this story does genuinely date back to the 1940s. It's not something more modern that was kind of, cooked up for publicity.
Okay.
But anyway, that was off on a
It's all right.
tangent.
It's all right. Hey,
One of
that's
my
what
more
we do here.
favorite. One of my more
Okay.
favorite articles. I would suggest anybody that thinks it sounds interesting, go check it out on skepticalinquirer.org. It was a lot of fun to do. Also with like AIPT Comics, more so than Skeptical Inquirer, I also do a lot of reviews for more modern TV shows, like the kind of true crime docuseries that get put out on things like Hulu and Netflix, especially.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of those that talk about revisiting older homicide cases from like these, but trying to bring up stories of, satanic cults that, were killing people out in the forest and stuff like that. And
Okay. I'm going to post a link to
bullshit.
your Skeptical Inquirer page. I posted it. I posted your podcast a little bit
Thank
earlier,
you.
but there you go. All right. So tonight we dived into who you are, and we're gonna do a little challenge here to get it started. And then we're going to take questions. So again,
after the challenge?
After the challenge, yes.
How are you gonna do that, JD?
He's going to have to suffer through the rest of the show.
It has to be in my mouth.
Oh my God.
So we put it out. We put out a challenge. We started a couple weeks ago, and then I slowly put stuff up there and started promoting it. That if we reached that we were collecting donations for the Cancer Research Institute, and that was it last year or 2 years ago?
I think it was 2 years ago.
It was 2 years ago that we did it. Wait, let me see.
Yeah.
So
Isn't it
this
2 years already?
I
That
think
was
this
year.
yeah, it's 2020. This is the one that we did, and that's for 2020.
Well, 2021.
This is 2021.
Oh, okay.
This
So
was
you've been
last year's
holding
one,
that
but
for a
we've been
while.
holding it.
I got it.
Because
Okay.
one, I was too lazy to fucking send it to him, and then I finally did, and I was stalling. So not really stalling, but just kept forgetting it. But it's to raise money for the Cancer Research Institute, and we put it out there, and also put a challenge out there that if we raised, first I said 600 because our goal last time was 500, and we reached it pretty damn quick. So, but I put it back down to 500. That if we reached $500, I would do the chip too, because I have one here just in case. But so far we're only up to $100, so I might not have to do it. So I mean, we still have the rest of the show. We got an hour and 45 minutes. So if you guys can go to the Cancer Research Institute website, and I'll put the link in the chat room. And if you guys get it in there and you make a donation, you can do a one-time donation, and you send me the receipt that they send you, and I can total it up. And if we hit $500 by the end of the show,
Be careful.
Oh fuck, Diana's in the room. That's the one that got me last time. But yeah, if you can, if we reach $500 by the end of the show, then I will eat this thing too.
Well, by the end of the show, I mean then we can't see you do it on the show. So
well, then
should
do
give
it
them
quick.
Like a half hour.
Do it quick.
Within 30 minutes, if we don't reach.
I mean, I'll stay on a little bit later so people can see me tortured. But I know JD he can't stay too late. So we'll see. We'll see how challenge accepted. Bring it, bitch.
Oh.
That's what I said. I said it. Bring it,
Eric.
bitch. Eric.
Oh my God.
I don't really mean bitch.
I
don't know if we know each other that well. All right. So, how long does this take you guys? Let's see. If you guys got questions, please remember to put a Q in front of it just so we can pick them out. But Carol asked how long it took us to recover last time. And I think I was good by the end of the show. I think we were both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking she meant like upper intestinal, lower intestinal.
How long did it take to actually?
But yeah, as far as that, by the end of the show, I think we were both pretty good.
Those rules only apply to you people. What do you mean, you people? They don't apply to me. I can call anyone, anything. I try to be nice, though. I'm only kidding. It's all for fun. Diana says I will match what you raise, but not to make you eat the chip. I'm
That's
good
so
with it.
sweet.
Either way, you know. I
Thank
mean,
you,
this is
Diana.
honestly, this is for charity. I got my shirt on today to fight cancer in any color. And I've talked about it before. This is something that, you know, if we can do something for, then let's do it and try to do everything. Every time I try to raise money, when I do raffles and everything, it's all for the cancer research, just to help any way we can. So
Because it just sucks.
it does. It sucks. John without an H. I love it. All right. So you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm trying
So
to unbox it.
Let's see. I want to read this off. It says one chip challenge, Carolina Reaper, Scorpion Pepper. Oh, Carolina Reaper plus Scorpion Pepper. I mean, that just sounds like Carolina.
Yeah, as I say, it comes in a little coffin-shaped box.
Yeah, like, come on, you're gonna die.
It's one single chip.
One chip. Is there anything else in the box?
I think the usual
Paper.
Oh yeah, that you did
guide
it.
that we got last year. So there's a challenge for how long you can last.
Oh.
Without.
Oh, now
it says without getting owned, which means eating or drinking anything. So this time I'm going to try to beat the whole challenge, which is to go 1 whole hour without eating or drinking anything.
An hour.
An hour. Now remember, be careful, because I think last time we did this, we were touching things and forgot, like, there's residue and shit on the package.
Yeah. Do you have like gloves? Do you want gloves, Kenny, before you open it?
No, I'm gonna just do it because I'm a man.
You want to see a man cry?
Yeah, I'm gonna cry like a baby.
He's gonna take one whiff of the box and be out cold.
So I'm gonna try and open this without like breaking the chip, because I don't really want to have to shove multiple pieces in my mouth.
That's a good idea.
Let's see if I can get that. There we go.
What to expect?
What to expect? Let's see. Made with Carolina Reaper pepper and Scorpion pepper, this straight from hell chip was created for the sheer pleasure of intense heat and pain. Round 1, spicy punch.
That's weird.
Round 2, scorpion sting. Round 3, vision disruptor.
Oh no.
Round 4, gut slash. And then round 5, roasted.
So it has this weird like blueberry kind of scent to it.
Blueberry.
Which seems rather innocuous. I'm sure it's not.
All right, you ready? You ready?
Whenever you're ready, JD.
You want a countdown? You ready? This is going to be so great. Oh, and if anyone is going to make donations, like I said, please send me. Let's see. I'm going to put my email in the comments. Send it to my email.
Do you have something there, JD, in case you need to drink something?
I do. I was just sitting here thinking, like, I wonder if I should have had like a vom bag or something.
I'm thinking you should get a can or something.
Oh, if you vomit, that's gonna skyrocket the ratings.
I've never ate anything hot enough that it made me puke. Like, I know a lot of people get like hiccups and things like that. I haven't had that happen yet, but
okay. Right. You ready?
I'm ready. Here we go.
3, 2, 1. Oh.
We don't recommend this at home.
Yeah, we do. Chew that shit up. How you feeling?
He's still chewing.
He's still chewing. Still chewing. All right. He's
worse than last time?
We got a thumbs up. I feel like we're doing like a rocket launch or something. Like, oh, he's got a thumbs up. He's still doing good. Too late. So yeah, everybody, while we're waiting for JD, if you do make a donation, forward the receipt that you get to my email that I posted in the chat room, and we will go. Did I post right? I posted to YouTube. I don't know if it went through to Facebook. Uh-oh.
leave the room. It's okay.
Oh.
Oh.
Mm.
Are you remembering from last time?
Mm.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it's hot. So should we take questions?
I think JD's hair is changing color.
I think he's sniffling. JD's color. Hair
Just like a
changing color.
chameleon.
Oh.
I really like them. I wanted to go see them in Hershey, or I'm sorry, yeah, Hershey. They were at the Giant Center. Oh, that hurts so bad.
All right.
Yeah, I wanted to go see them, but I'm trying to save money to go to SciCon this year. So,
Yes.
oh,
SciCon is coming. Oh my gosh. I feel for you, dude. I do feel for you.
Don't do it.
Keep your mind off it. Come on, let's talk. Let's talk.
yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll take my I got the look from Donna.
Every time I swallow, it's not
what
even
she
my
said.
mouth; it's mostly my throat.
Oh.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, you got that sound, like that grunting sound when something gets stuck in your throat.
It's the air that touches the back of your throat and it starts burning.
Maybe nobody make donations because now I don't want to do it. Oh, only 57 more minutes. John without an H is the most considerate person I ever know. Let's see. Statement. Kenny, we would like to see all of your guests answer questions this way from now on. Drink milk. Oh, he's going to try and get through the show without doing that. Hey, Brian. How you doing? Tell us about Cowan's Gap.
I do not go there in the water anymore.
What is it?
Because
I don't know what it is.
It's a lake. Maybe like half an hour, 45 minutes away from where I live. Think like Camp Crystal Lake.
Oh, okay. All right.
I always used to go there as a kid, but they've had a lot of cases over the years of that's not a good sign.
Oh boy.
Of people
You
getting
gotta
E.
drink.
coli.
I know you have milk there.
People say get this drink because you don't want to damage your esophagus.
So I mean, if you don't worry about it, you don't have to make it through the show. If it's a lot, then by all means, take a little sip. Get a little bit of relief.
Anyway,
don't cry.
So I don't go. So yeah, like we'll go up there and we'll walk around because it's really beautiful and scenic. But yeah, I don't get in the water anymore. There's just been too many cases.
Cases. Okay. Request JD sing us a Star Spangled Banner. Oh my God, you people are so mean.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't even know if I know the words.
That's okay.
Is
the devil in the details of this chip?
I'm not gonna lie. I think this chip is worse than 2 years ago. I don't know. Maybe I just haven't remembered. Maybe I've just forgotten.
We had the ingredients. So last time we did it
Penny's got both boxes.
So on the front of the old one, the red one, it says Carolina Reaper and the Szechuan Heat.
Yeah.
Szechuan.
So now
where this one has scorpion pepper.
Oh, scorpion.
So I don't know if the heat factor, does it give me a heat factor?
Well, I think the old one had scorpion pepper too, right?
Let's see. The old one, the ingredients. Let's see. Oh, crap. They're like tiny.
I feel like I am, Bob.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. I think this is definitely worse than last
There's
time.
like when you vomit and you get that taste of what's it called, like butyric acid or something.
Yeah,
I have that in the back of my throat. That's like super disgusting.
Thanks for the visual.
It's burning a little less now, but when I swallow,
Okay.
it still kind of hurts, and yeah, it tastes gross.
Well, you're talking a little bit more, so it might be subsiding just a tad, which would be nice. All right,
I'm just hoping it doesn't like hit the stomach and then.
Whoa.
So this says Carolina Reaper, pepper, scorpion, chili pepper. Yeah. So it was in that too.
Okay, I don't know. Maybe they just like up the other ones because they took the Szechuan out.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Yes, it was hot on the way out. Not as bad. Not as bad, but you also don't have any like taste buds in your ass, so that's
that's good. Yeah.
Do you?
I actually don't like Fireball that much, Bob. I don't know.
I'm not a Fireball guy either.
It's just something about the cinnamon, and I'm like,
sorry.
You know what? You want to just take over tonight?
Oh, I'm getting.
Hey, Tom.
Sorry. All right, I'm gonna expand my screen so I don't actually see the comments, so I can't click on them. I keep going over and just seeing something and clicking it, and I'm getting myself in trouble. Ring of Fire. All right, yeah. If you guys got any more questions, feel free. This is open mic night, so we are going to do whatever questions you guys want. I will start off until we get actual questions. I do have some things that I wanted to talk to you about because
Did you get any emails? I have not gotten any emails yet.
You talking about me or the proverbial you?
Let's see. What's this? We got okay. So we got $25. Awesome. So we are up to. Let's see. I don't know who this is. Wow, that's an awesome email, whoever it is. I'm not going to give it out because I don't know if they're okay with it, but it's awesome.
With the email
it has zombie in it. So yeah, we are up to $125 so far.
Cool.
So I'm not sweating it yet.
What are my plans for future podcasts?
I'm not sweating yet because I don't think the bitch brought it.
Wow.
Let's see. You did you were on a Squaring the Strange recently. You did an episode with them and it aired recently where you talked about our one of our entertaining buddies, Bob Larson.
Yeah, good old Bob.
Oh, well, here we go. We got a question from Bob. What are your plans for future podcast topics?
Well, there's a mini episode that I'm sitting on right now. It was an article that I had written up for Free Inquiry, but I don't know when that might get published, so I might release it as sort of a mini episode. It was a kind of a book review that I had did for a book called The Genealogical Adam and Eve that I had seen a Fox News article about.
Okay.
And the author, I don't want to give too much away, but the author makes the argument that current genetics doesn't necessarily prove that the biblical Adam and Eve is impossible. So I read the article. I was like, this sounds like a load of horse shit, but I'm going to be fair. So I walked down to my local library and ordered a copy. And
I walked down.
And I reviewed it. I reached out to Richard Dawkins, not thinking that I was actually going to get him, but I thought maybe somebody at the foundation or whatever would be willing to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And he did actually respond, which I don't think I put the full quote in the article, but I'm definitely going to put it in the podcast because it's too funny. But yeah, basically, I'm obviously not convinced. I don't think a lot of religious people are convinced either, because there's certain assumptions that you have to make in order to buy into the author's argument.
Okay.
And for a very orthodox kind of understanding of Christianity, it's totally going to be unacceptable. And I mean, ultimately, I think it's kind of a, I don't know, I think it's kind of a silly project, personally. Yes, that is part of his argument.
Okay.
So yeah, anybody that sees that, you can go and look it up yourself.
Okay. Let's see if I can find the article. So you said it was what, DNA
I
evidence?
didn't. Sorry, I should have thought to send it to you.
It's okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of how it was worded.
Or Eve. Let's see what brings it up. Scientists think they found Eve's first homeland. No, that's not it.
Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Closest link to Eve or universal ancestor.
There it is. Hold on, I'll send it to you in
okay.
Messenger.
Dun, 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 dun. How many projects do you have like on the back burner?
Well, back burner in terms of like I'm actually working on, not many.
question.
Back burner in terms of, you know, I'm thinking about it and I'd like to do it. So I just put out an episode
do that right.
on ritual magic, and that's part of what is also called like greater magic, and that's what most people think about in terms of, you know, like putting on a robe and going through the theatrics of you know, using a sword and a wand and a chalice and those kind of theatrical props. But there's a whole other kind of side to magic that's what's known as lesser magic, and that's more using kind of what you would call in psychology like compliance gaining, persuasion techniques. You know, kind of like the Carney stock and trade to kind of manipulate people and outcomes to your benefit. And there's a whole lot of things that I think I can kind of break down from that and do episodes on. So, you know, right off the top of my head, one thing that I want to talk about is aphrodisiacs, and in particular things like scents and perfume, because, you know, there's a very long history of love spells, potions, charms, things like that in the practice of magic and witchcraft. And that was certainly something that Anton LaVey very much believed in and wrote about, you know. And I think in some ways that would be very interesting. And I think, if I remember correctly, I think the last episode of Three Tortured Souls, Dave said something about perfume, or he mentioned something that like he was involved with, and I was like, I absolutely have to remember to pick your brain about that.
And then you instantly forgot what it was.
Tangent. I mean, it's like I have this nebulous idea of what it was about. You know, it was something involving smell. But yeah, hopefully he'll know what I'm talking about, because yeah, I didn't think about the details. So, you know, there's a lot of things like that. The science of hi Chewie. The science of like body typing.
Right.
So kind of categorizing people's personality based on body types.
Yeah.
That was something that Anton LaVey wrote about a lot. And, you know, there's a lot of there's a long history of science and stuff around personality in general.
Right.
Body typing, I'm not so much familiar with, but yeah, I think there's a whole lot of stuff as far as lesser magic that I could get into.
Okay. I think John with an H got it. Pheromones. That's what Dave was talking about. Because when we did
Can you still hear me?
show, what?
Sorry, the video cut out for a second.
Okay,
I wasn't sure if you could hear
pheromones.
me.
We were talking about
Yes.
pheromones. Because the book that we were reviewing, which I now have 2 of, and that's a side story. But we were reviewing it, and there was an experiment that was brought up in it, and it had to do with pheromones. And when you read the experiment, it didn't make sense the way they were carrying it out. Basically, they wanted to test for fear, because the book mentions something about wild animals that are or animals that are being hunted in the wild, that they allegedly put off this fear pheromone to warn other of their kind, hey, there's a predator here, and everybody scatters. So the idea in the book was that, hey, let's do an experiment where we put people in a haunted house and we test for cortisone levels before and after. And the reason they were doing that was because when you're scared, your cortisone levels rise, they increase. So they were going to try to find if there was an increase in that, to see if there was fear. The problem is the test was dumb, to put it lightly. It was because there's a difference between an animal that becomes fearful and then puts off these pheromones to warn others. But you're putting people in a haunted house to make them scared, and you're testing the result of that, rather than if they were actually putting off pheromones. So what they really needed to do was test for pheromones coming off of each body, and they didn't do that. They took it in a very useless direction. Uh-oh. Here he comes. You're doing pretty good, I gotta say. Like, you've recovered.
So what was their hypothesis that Sorry, there's a little bit of a lag on my end.
Okay.
So what was their hypothesis that the other people in the haunted house could I don't want to say unconsciously, but unknowingly detect those pheromones, and it would alert them to, say, a scare that was coming up?
I honestly don't know. It was a very short section of the book. The book overall, if you didn't get it from the show we did on it, the book was awful.
They didn't really understand the study.
Yeah, they didn't understand what they were doing. They didn't conduct a proper experiment. I think the hypothesis, and we're using that correctly, they fucked up and they were interchanging theory and hypothesis while trying to be scientific. And I really hate that. That's something that's a pet peeve with me. Almost as bad as energy drink. But I think what they were looking for is that if they send a group of people in an environment where they get scared, would they become more scared, or detect, like, if somebody was scared, would they detect the pheromones off of them, and then everyone gets scared or get alerted to this? I don't know, because that wasn't really fleshed out.
Okay.
It wasn't fleshed out, and that's one of the things that we criticized, because we were expecting something more involved, more detailed, because on the cover, they tell you they're blending science with history. So by that subtitle, I was expecting science, and instead they gave us cherry-picked bits of articles that really didn't have anything to do with what they were doing. It was really, really poorly done. Poorly done. And I hated it. It's fucking. And then the side story is that as I was reading this, so let me.
What are we talking about? What are you reading?
The book that we reviewed on Three Tortured Souls. We did Elements of a Haunting. Let me show you. Hold on. It's right here. Because I want to show you what happened. So now I have 2 books, 2 of the same book. And this is what happened. That's a page of the book.
You tore it.
Nope. That's another page of the book.
No, they were just falling out.
They were falling out. That's another page of the book. It was like I went to turn the page and it just fell out. So, to their credit, to the publisher's credit, I sent them an email. I sent them photos of the pages falling out. There's no tears. There's nothing. It just came out. The glue is bad, and let them know. I didn't ask for a refund. I didn't ask for a replacement. I just told them you should be aware of this because something in the warehouse isn't right. The glue's not setting or something. And
is it a newer book?
The what?
Is it a newer book?
We pre-ordered it.
Oh.
So the three of us pre-ordered the book. It just came out. We got the first batch. And so the publisher got right back to me the next day, said they apologized and asked for my address so they could send out a new book immediately.
So lucky
That's
for
cool.
us, now we have.
So now I have two. So if anybody wants it, I don't want it. Do you want it?
Sure.
All right, I'll send it to you.
JD gets it for internship.
Yeah, he gets it free. He gets a free shit.
Hey, can you autograph my copy?
No,
You might not like what he says inside.
You know what? I'll put a message in it for you.
All right.
It'll be a good message for you. So you're doing pretty good, man.
How you feeling?
Pretty good. It's only like the occasional hiccup or cough that really does me in. So
okay.
I think the best is yet to come.
Yeah, when it comes out the other end. No live interviews for that. I'm not going to do that. All right. We're looking for questions. Tonight's open mic night. And you're getting 2 opinions for the price of 1, which is free because we don't charge to get into this bar. A book less enjoyable than the gym was. And you know what? We went into that. We got some porn. Yeah, baby. Oh, wow. Okay. There's our first boot for the night. Nice.
That was a new one.
That was new. Wow. Yeah, that's when you make it big. I really think because we started getting them on 3 Tortured Souls last week. I think we started getting them. So
hit the big time.
I know, dude. I'm yeah. All right. So what else? What did I want to tell? Do we have any questions?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay. So yeah, you were on Scoring the Strange, and you were actually talking about Bob Larson and the awesome awesome video that we watched. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So you had sent a link about this live stream exorcism that he was going to be doing.
So real quick, yes, I signed up for Bob Larson's newsletter. So I get their emails all the time. Most of the time I ignore them, but once in a while it comes up and it actually pops up with like the image. And I didn't recognize the image, but it was a doll, and I was like, "Haunted doll, I'm into it." Let me see what this is, and I sent it to you guys, like you, Dave, and Tim, because in the background we watch this shit once in a while. We sit here and actually watch something like that together and comment, and it's hysterical. So go ahead, you watched it too with us?
Yes. So I did actually recognize the doll because it was actually a character from one of my favorite video game series. So I was like, wow, either somebody used that image for the thumbnail and they had no idea what it was. They just thought it looked creepy and cool. They knew what it was and they wanted to use it because they knew what it was. Or maybe Bob Larson's a video gamer and, he was trying to communicate that to the world. So the story allegedly was that the person he had on his show, whose name was Jarrett, was somehow being tormented by this evil spirit inhabiting this doll. From it was his.
I forget.
The story started that it was his. The story started that it was his aunt's doll, and they practiced the religion of Santeria. So the doll was kind of an effigy of a spirit in their religion known as an Orisha, and they would make offerings to the spirit by, offering like tobacco, coffee, things like that to the doll. Okay. And of course, Bob Larson being the fundamentalist that he is, this is not someone from another religion practicing their religion. This is somebody who's being hoodwinked by, a devil,
right.
And so, supposedly somehow this devil or this doll is demon possessed. Somehow that ends up affecting Jarrett. And it was never really clear how that came about.
Right.
Did the demon jump from the doll to possess Jarrett?
Right.
Because, throughout the exorcism, he did behave like you would expect somebody who was possessed. He put on a funny voice. He would kind of like undulate in his chair, which, was really, really funny to watch. So it was never quite clear exactly how that was supposed to be working. And it was really weird because there was a couple times throughout the video that Bob mentioned that Jarrett had, prior to coming on the show, accepted Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior and had gotten religious and was actually going around and, preaching the good word and casting demons out of friends and family. Which begs the question, how could this person be possessed? Or, to put it another way, how could they be invoking the power of Jesus Christ to cast demons out if they themselves were demonically possessed?
It's like a double agent.
I guess. I mean, maybe the devil comes and goes. It's like a timeshare. When when the devil's out, the spirit of Jesus is in. When Jesus is away on holiday, the spirit of the doll comes in. So,
it was all in all, it was interesting watching this, because during the video, and if you ever get a chance, please go look at the article. I'll put the article in the comments, the link to the article in the comments, because then you can, because I think it's referenced, right? Is the video referenced?
It should be.
Okay.
I hope it was. If it wasn't, that's stupid. Yes. Well, that's definitely a bad on my part.
But
because it is on Bob's YouTube channel, so you can go back and watch it. It was a live stream event, but you can go back and watch it.
Let's see if we can find Bob's YouTube. Bob Larson YouTube. Oh, there he is. There's so many videos on here, and I mean, all right. So he's got this possessed guy. All right, we're watching him, and set up for everyone at home. We're watching Bob on one side, so it's set up like this, and he's pretty sure he's using StreamYard. But Bob Larson's on one side. This other young guy is on the other side with his girlfriend next to him. And like she's sitting like right next to him.
Mm-hmm.
And Bob busts out like his cross and he starts talking to this alleged demon inside this guy. And he's doing like almost like a sit down PB dance. He starts wriggling around, but instead of like going crazy and like, oh, I'm loose and I need to be held down, he's kind of just staying in place And even when his head goes back, he's still looking at the camera the whole time. And it's so weird because like his girlfriend is sitting next to him and she's like bored out of her mind, like not interested, doesn't give a shit. Maybe once in a while she looked over like, you done?
Well, there was one really funny part where Bob told her to like go get their Bible, and he said something like, like firmly or gently, I don't remember which it was, place it on his back. And he specifically said like place it on his back. And she took that thing and was like, wham! And like you could hear it hitting him in the back, and he kind of did like a little, and even Bob was kind of like, whoa, okay. Like even Bob did not expect her to slap him as hard as she
Slap
did
him
with
hard.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was great. I mean, we really should do like a private party. Because we've done it before on Three Tortured Souls. We did a private showing of what did we do? Oh, it was a Ghost Watch.
Yeah.
Ghost Watch we did. It was a film, a UK film that was banned. Only shown once on TV, and then it was banned from ever playing again, and we watched it, and it was really cool. And we did talk about doing a Bob Larson night where we get everyone together and just sit here and we restream his video and just watch it.
We saw, as I say, you, Tim, and I saw another one. Then it was him visiting some local. Well, I don't know if it was local, but he was visiting some church, and he was doing an in-person. Which, if you're gonna watch a Bob Larson exorcism, you have to watch one of the in-person ones because they're so much more interactive.
Yeah.
You know, that the one with the doll was kind of a letdown because I had seen other in-person Bob Larson ones, and they're really kind of a spectacle. And you know, doing it remotely, you have. Yeah, I mean, first of all, the doll wasn't even there, so you know we weren't exorcising the demon from the doll.
Right.
So that to me, that was kind of a bait and switch.
I was very upset that the doll was not there. It did not make an appearance. Yeah. I was very because that's the only reason I tuned in.
Right.
I wanted to see the fucking doll.
Yeah. Is this thing gonna is its head gonna move? Is it gonna like get up and
right?
No.
There's a question.
So okay, we got a question from Redman. That's cool. I like that. Is the dishonesty as bad as it seems when it comes to paranormal claims made? So
he's talking about Bob.
Yeah, I don't know if this is this Bob specific or is this in general for like the paranormal community? Let us know.
Because I would like to say, this is something that I don't have a settled opinion on whether or not Bob Larson is 100% bullshitting, 100% believes what he's doing, or is it kind of somewhere in between? You know, because there's definitely moments where it seems as though there's an interplay between him and the people he's performing an exorcism on.
Right.
But that very much could be that, they believe it, he believes it, they're picking up cues from one another, but they're not aware that they're doing it. And I think, at least for me, there's a part of me that wants Bob to be, conning people, because that's easier to accept than the idea that Bob legitimately believes what he's doing.
Right.
Because to me, it's like you have to be a certain kind of crazy to truly believe that. And it's easier for me to just accept he's just bullshitting these people, and they're buying into it.
So we got clarification, and his name's Darren. He was clarifying that he meant in general. So with in general paranormal claims, but I do want to respond to that. What you said. We've seen a few videos now, and when we compare, I've seen a bunch of his live videos where not his in person, where he shows up at someone's church and he
Right.
does these exorcisms / deliverances, whatever. And then I've also seen at least 2, maybe 3 of his, it's like Skype exorcism kind of thing. And the ones that are standalone videos that are like this kind of thing, this layout, StreamYard, look so fake. It's very hard not to make fun of it like 2 minutes into it because it's that fake. It's that staged. I think the in-person ones are more dramatic and more interactive because you have a church full of people, and I think they're just doing what he says. They're just following along, and you have one person, which may or may not be a plant, probably is, that is going to be possessed because, when I've heard good possession stories, the people fucking freak out. Like there's some good shit going on, and these people that are just held, they're just there and they just fall down and stuff like that. And they talk, they growl, as anyone can growl. It's not.
That was pretty scary.
That was good. Go off guard. I was like, oh shit. The fuck is going on?
Level go up.
Yeah. I'm giving off some pheromones right now. Raise me up a little bit. That was good. Lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
Yeah, but I'm trying to recover and I can't.
Well, you were talking about how fake sounding.
Oh yeah, I mean the people that come up onto the stage, or altar, or whatever they want to call it. It looks like a stage because it's staged, but they're not freaking out. Like they might yell, but if they're so violent and so dangerous, there's plenty of opportunities to smack the shit out of Larson. You can really backhand Bob and not worry about it.
And it's not to say that like the Catholic Church has a monopoly on exorcism by any means, but they do have a list of signs to look for possession. Few or none of which these people ever actually demonstrate. There's nothing that I would consider a superhuman feat of strength. They don't seem to speak in any kind of foreign language that presumably they couldn't know.
Right.
They don't demonstrate any kind of knowledge of the future or knowledge of things that they couldn't possibly have. Presumably there's no levitation ever, which is super disappointing.
Yeah, I want to see that shit.
Exactly. That's primarily what I'm interested in. I want to see somebody levitate just once, because you'll read accounts of possessed people levitating, but of course there's never anything caught on camera. Right.
Nothing is caught on camera, and we just don't. It's not exciting. It's not TV worthy. It really isn't. And that may sound really bad saying that, because and this is a huge if, demonic possession is real, then these people are obviously suffering. But I don't see that at all. I just don't see it at all.
Well, here's a good example. So one of the books that I happen to have, that I have here, Demonic Foes by Richard Gallagher, which I think I mentioned in one of my podcast episodes.
Okay.
In general about demonic possession and exorcism. He talks about my 25 years as a psychiatrist investigating possessions, and he claims to be coming at it from a scientific, psychological kind of perspective. So, a more skeptical kind of approach. Books that are written on exorcism by people of the cloth. And, I don't remember any of the specific cases that he mentions in there, but these are things that presumably any true open-minded skeptic would have witnessed this, and it would have changed their mind. And, I understand to some degree there's a problem of confidentiality. And that's why the Catholic Church is always very hush-hush about the details of exorcisms that they sign off on. They don't give out personal details about people. But that being the case, you have people like Bob Larson. You have people from any other number of denominations that claim to be exorcising demons from people. You would think at least some cases, if demons were real, genuinely possessed people would be going to these people for an exorcism instead of the Catholic Church. And we would get some kind of evidence of that. Bob doesn't have any problem videotaping people. There's video, there's other exorcists on video exorcising demons. I feel like just in terms of sheer probability, some genuinely possessed people would have to go to those people. Why aren't we getting better evidence?
Honestly, if I give it the benefit of the doubt, you know what? I knew it was coming. Let's JD is frozen. This might be a good time to go on a pee break.
Pee break.
All right. He's totally stuck. All right, I'm gonna play the video. I'm gonna play our commercial.
It's
all right, man. It's all right. We're gonna do our pee break. Because I'm not gonna call it a commercial anymore. Because we're gonna be honest about it. Everyone's got to pee. All right, you guys got 3 minutes to take care of what you got to take care of. Empty something, fill something up, and then we'll be back here in about 3 minutes, and we're gonna get back into this. We're gonna get into a little bit more of why demons, I think, are dumb, and then we're going to go into paranormal in general. And then if you got questions, this is the time. Think about them and get them here. So here we go in 3, 2, 1. Hey everyone, this is my store based on the theme of science and skepticism. It's here that you can find all kinds of shirts and hoodies, yoga pants, tote bags, the fanny packs I know you guys love, masks and pillows, all with science and skepticism as the theme. I even have hoodies for your pets. That's right, your dog or cat can wear one of these things. I also have a general store that sells more inspirational quotes or, drinking stuff because I like that kind of thing. I also have a store set up for our 3 Tortured Souls podcast, which we do Saturday nights. You can find shirts and Tim Vicker's favorite drinking vessel, the mug. I also have a store tailored a little bit more towards my ghost hunting friends, Paranormal by I Am Kenny Biddle. These are shirts and quotes that are a little bit more on the ghost hunting side, especially this one, Translucent Perished Beings. Ghost. That's my favorite. So if you're interested, head on over to teespring.com/stores/scientific skepticism by IAKB and check it out. Thanks.
Are you tortured by what you see and hear about the paranormal field? Join us as we critically examine and question paranormal claims, science, ghosts, demons, cryptids, UFOs, ghost hunting technology, and much more are all on the table for discussion. 3 Tortured Souls is a video podcast that streams live on Saturdays at 8 p.m. Eastern and 5 Pacific.
3 Tortured Souls.
Oh, we're back. You got caught. Caught off guard. All right.
Well, there's a little bit of a delay on my side, so I thought I was still good.
Oh, yeah, you have. I think so. Like the more I look at this, sometimes like when I do 3TS on Saturdays, I usually have another screen up here because if I'm not the host, then I can't comment directly on StreamYard. I have to go through Facebook, and I know there's at least like a 10-second delay on Facebook, and like
Sometimes more.
YouTube is like 15, 20 seconds sometimes. So it's weird.
Yeah. Well, it like keeps cutting out, so I'm sitting here like
Oh, okay.
trying to figure
All right.
out.
Yeah, I
No,
see
yeah,
it. You're like
yeah, it's
freezing
cutting
and-
up.
Yeah.
All right. Hopefully we'll get it going. All right. So I left the break with a comment about demons are dumb, and I think they are. I think they're very dumb.
We have
That's
one
not a.
question before we get into that, if you want. It's an older question that I missed.
Well, let me finish this out, and then we'll do
All
the
right, go
question. So, if demons were real, which I don't think they are, if they were real and they wanted to take over the world and cause a lot of chaos and destruction or whatever, they wouldn't make a big deal about it and not manifest anything until, like a priest comes up. Like, keep it quiet. Take over your host body. Haven't you seen any sci-fi movies? We know
Well,
how
also,
aliens can do it.
Why would you go after some random person?
Random.
Why wouldn't
weak-
you be possessing world leaders?
Right. Exactly. Why take someone from like some town out in the middle of nowhere when you could take senators and presidents and world leaders and say, "Oh, you know what? I'm not going to, freak out. I'm going to calmly take over this body and I'm going to make decisions." That would be the best, but no, demons are dumb, and therefore that's why
Sorry, God.
they're fictional. All right, so what do you got for a question?
Demons are dumb.
Demons are dumb. That's a T-shirt.
I think so.
Bob, not a criticism, but why do you choose those three faces on your wall?
I think they're the ones up on
JD's wall? Yeah.
Because those were the only ones that Spirit Halloween still had in stock a couple years ago. So I wanted a Dracula to round out the set, and they did not have one.
Oh, it froze again.
When I was
Oh,
looking, they didn't have. Did you get any of that?
I just
Dracula.
got. You were Dracula, yeah.
Yeah. So 2 years ago, I think when I got those.
Oh, there he is.
I'm like ready to try switching to my phone.
He's like,
I don't
fuck
know.
this. I'm going to my phone.
Yeah, it's messed up.
Well, it's like a pain in the
Um,
ass to have to hold it out at arm's length,
Right.
but we do what we
I
got
hear
to
you.
do. Anyway, long story short, those were the only three they had in stock. I'm still looking for a Dracula to complete the set, but last year they didn't have any of those, like those particular styles, so it's very sad.
Okay.
I also have a devil one here.
Oh,
I just don't have
like
him
that.
up.
I like that. I don't want to take it down, but let me see if you can see it. Up there. You see him up there? Wait, there he is.
Yeah.
That's a wooden
That's cool.
one.
That's a wooden mask, and I
That
love
looks
it.
cool.
I love it. I have no idea where I got it.
It was a flea market.
Wasn't it?
You just don't remember.
Yeah. I love picking up this crazy shit, so I love it. Let's see. I wanted to see. There was a comment here. Oh, Eric. I don't know, Eric. I don't know what you're talking about here. Try messaging guests right before the pee break. I don't know if that was to me or somebody else. I'm not sure what you're talking about there. Let me know. But I want to give a shout out to, I'm still not sure who the zombie email is, but thank you. They made a donation. And then my dear friend Dana, one of my peaches, she made a donation. So we are officially up to $175. $175.
Woohoo!
So yeah, still got 325 to go.
I'm going to engage in a little back patting
Back.
right now. We
You're
made
doing
it the
good,
hour.
man.
We
You
made
are
it the
awesome.
hour.
I know. You didn't have to take a drink at all.
Mm-mm.
All right. So let's see. What do we got here? Kenny, you are delayed now. Okay. I don't know. Maybe it's StreamYard just messing up. I don't know. Everything looks fine on my end right now. All right. What do we got from Eric? Eric has a long post here. Think about it this way. If you were to drop into a huge city and take folks, could you imagine the amount of panic and the fact that we as a species would immediately go to nuclear arms, blasting everything if we take people that out in the middle of nowhere? There's a lot. I think we're talking about zombies. I'm not sure. It sounds like we're talking about zombies.
See,
All
I
right.
was thinking he was talking about demonic possession, which I was going to say, wouldn't like nuclear annihilation be something that demons would want? Like, isn't that
it
good?
would
Like,
would it
isn't
affect
that?
them? Like it would just
Well,
blow
no,
up
but like
people.
causing that much evil, wouldn't
Right.
that be
Causing
like,
that much damage? Yeah, they'd be
you know,
like, "Yeah,
good
we
for
win."
them?
People killing each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get to the general aspect of that question, because they did clarify and said, paranormal claims. I forget what the question actually was, but they were asking about oh my god, what we
Something
thought about
honesty, I think. if I
honesty,
remember.
yeah, in paranormal claims. And I think I think for the most part, people, and we're talking probably ghost hunters and that genre there. I think for the most part, the people are honest.
Oh, I'm sorry. She gets in the room and she gets in on camera and then she just stares at me. Like she's like, I'm gonna get mom's attention now.
So
I thought she was snickering.
dishonesty.
I
Thank
thought
you.
she was snickering at what you said.
Well, I was too. I was doing
Probably.
both.
I think there is a lot of dishonesty. I think the majority of people are honest. I don't think they are as knowledgeable as they think they are, and I'm not saying that in a mean way. I just think that's the way it is. I think there's a lot of assumptions and a lot of tribal knowledge, and that goes a long way, even though it's not valid. It goes a long way.
Now,
because,
do you mean that about people in the community in general? What about like paracelebs, like minor, major, like not even necessarily people that have TV shows, but like people that have books that make the circuit doing presentations and tours and things like that?
I think it's the same. I really
Okay.
think it's the same. I mean, we're talking about, well, all right, maybe not. I think there are some that are the same, where they have that idea, like that's their beliefs. They grew up believing this stuff. They didn't have anyone to challenge their beliefs. Therefore, the beliefs become that core belief thing, and that's what they base everything off of. And we see that on a lot of TV shows. But I do think that there's a line that's crossed with TV, especially with TV, when they're producing episodes. And if you've ever seen behind the scenes stuff, like I've been behind the scenes, I've spoken with people that have been on these shows. There's a lot of shit that goes on, a lot of recreations, a lot of that wasn't good enough. Do it again, but do it better. Make it more scary, make it more this and that. And I think there's the entertainment value, because if you're going to make a TV show, you have to make it entertaining, because you need people to watch, because you need sponsors to come in and pay for it so that you can be paid. But I think like with books, yeah, like there's like this shelf that you see over here. this shelving unit right there. Let me give you a better view. This is all regional books here. These are all ghost story books from different towns, different. Oh, there's Donna. Hi, Donna. So they're all like towns, cities, states, what have you, and they're filled with stories, and just stories. They're not researched good, except for history and any history that backs up what might be a good story. So I think they're telling an honest story, just from a slightly skewed point of view.
Mm-hmm.
As for dishonesty, I think, yes, there is a lot of dishonesty. Baggins. Where there's just completely made up bullshit that is presented to you. And that's in TV, books, and real life.
Which, since we're talking about our favorite paraceleb, Zach Baggins, I would like to say there was a fantastic example of that I recently wrote about for AIPT Comics. It was an older episode of Ghost Adventures from 2018, I think.
Yes.
It's a couple of years ago.
Okay.
In which he and his team were checking out a location called the Westerfield House, which occult filmmaker Kenneth Anger had stayed at briefly. He filmed scenes from his movie Invocation to My Demon Brother there with founder of the Church of Satan, Anton LaVey, and at the time, future Manson family member Bobby Beausoleil. And I guess allegedly the house still has a bunch of, bad mumbo jumbo from way back then. Mm-hmm. So Baggins and his team were there to investigate, and they actually got to interview Kenneth Anger remotely, and he confirmed, we did ritual invocations there, and there's probably still, some kind of dangerous forces that are there that I wouldn't want to antagonize. So of course, Zach and his team get the idea. Well, we're going to try and do the same kind of rituals, and we're going to antagonize the spirit to see if something will happen. So specifically, I don't remember his name, but one of the people that's part of his team was like, Zach, I know a lot about Aleister Crowley, the English occultist that Kenneth Anger was super, super influenced by. And, he read this book that I read from when we did that thing at Goatman's Bridge, which that was a past episode of Ghost Adventures where Zach got possessed and was like choking himself on TV. And he's like, I think if Crowley was influenced by that book, then there's a good chance that Kenneth Anger and them were reading from it. And I think if we read from it, then, maybe we'll get something to happen. So, they set up and they're doing this ritual, and Baggins specifically makes the claim, we're not going to tell you what this book is because it's super dangerous. It's very ancient. It's ancient and Sumerian. And, to me, that kind of set off bells because I'm like, well, I wouldn't call myself a scholar, but, I know who Aleister Crowley is. I know a fair bit about, his magical philosophy and everything. And I don't really recall Sumerian being a part of that. So, fortunately for the curious, part of they do show part of the invocation, and so I quickly write down what it is that Baggins' crew member, whose name I've forgotten, what he said, and I do a quick little Google search, and boom, there it is, like plain as day. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So, to really put the nail. So I'm watching it, And I noticed that in one of the scenes, he's there, which I actually don't have a copy of the book anymore, or I'd pull it out. But in one of the scenes, he's sitting there and he's holding the book, he's reading from it, and you can see the cover of the book.
Hold on a second. I can share. I have your. I share your article.
You are so much more prepared than me. What would I do without you?
So this is the scene that he's talking about.
Yes. It's too small. I can't read it. But yeah, whatever that guy's name is.
Let's see. I don't know what his name is. I was just showing the picture.
We'll call him Dumbass. Dumbass.
Okay.
But yeah,
so there you go.
So I see that and I'm like, God damn it. Like, I know what that book is. You gotta be kidding me. You stupid, ignorant fucks. So I messaged Kenny. So I messaged Kenny and Dave and Tim in the group chat, and I'm like, hey, I need some help getting a better image of this. You know, I know exactly what this is, but I really need a better image to really make a concrete case for it. So the book is neither ancient nor truly Sumerian. It was written in like the 1970s as it was written to cash in on gullible rubes frequenting a magic store in at the time. So the book is called the Necronomicon, which is actually a fictitious book in the literature of H.P. Lovecraft. It does not exist. There is no such thing as the Necronomicon. But, you know, occult booksellers came up with this book to sell it to people because, you know, according to them, they had people come in and they would ask for it, you know, not realizing that it wasn't a real book. So, you know, they clearly saw a cash cow. You know, they knew a cash cow when they saw one. So, and it's no secret. Like, it's not some obscure, like, you have to really do a lot of research to know that this book is fake. It's very well known. So, either Baggins and his crew are, and yeah, you can get it anywhere. Like,
you can get it from Amazon.
Copy.
$8. $8.
I bought mine in Borders like 15 years ago for like $8. So, you know, so much for it being so dangerous, we're not going to tell you what it is.
Right. But you know what? That's something that he does frequently. And I don't know. I'm really not sure if it's on purpose or not, because it looks subtle enough where he makes this big, grand, you know, gesture where he's like, "We're not going to show you what it is."
Yeah.
Let me channel Zach. We're not going to show you what it is, all right? Because we're like, this is dangerous, and we want to make sure, like, we're professionals. I am the foremost expert in the world on demons and everything else as it comes up. So
say it with the mask on.
I don't want the mask with the filters. But you know what? Like, he does that a lot, and then they always fuck up. They always slip up, and that's what you caught.
Well, and I'm like, you know,
how was that?
If you genuinely believe that, way to go, because, you know, now you've just totally put me in danger because I, you know, was stupid enough to go looking for the book. But, you know, I refuse to believe that it was an accident. Like, this is one of those, you would have to be so outrageously incompetent that not only did you not notice that the cover of the book was visible, but you left in passages being read.
Right.
And if we're supposed to believe that, you know, magic books and the words contained within them are inherently dangerous, you never ever allow that to be, you know, to be filmed. So right. I have to conclude that, you know, either Zach Baggins is so outrageously, incompetent that it blows my mind, or
Possibility.
he's just dishonest and maybe lazy. Probably lazy, probably dishonest, definitely dishonest.
I think that ties into that original question. It was
Nobody could genuinely think that this book was ancient and dangerous. It's just
and as soon as you got a glimpse of it, it's a modern book.
it's a
and you're right.
paperback.
I mean, it's just I think this ties in well with the overall question. Is there dishonesty? Yes, there is. There's a lot of it. It's rampant. You see it on TV. You see it in books, where they're like they're giving you information and trying to present, especially when they try to present this scientific behavior, and it's horrible. It's horrible. If you've actually dealt with scientists and you understand the scientific method and you understand experimental controls and so on, you read these books and you're like, this is fucking boring. This is stupid. They're not following what they should be. Are they dishonest? Yes, I think they're doing it in order to sell books. Science is almost like a buzzword for them.
That's not to say that people might not watch the show and come away with an idea about the book. Well, I mean, I guess they wouldn't have an idea about the book because presumably they wouldn't know what the book is.
Right.
But people could watch that and they could have a certain idea about ancient Sumerian rituals or magic or the Westerfield house in general.
Like for me, I think he froze up.
They're going to.
No.
We're both kind of freezing.
Yeah. I can hear you. You're catching up. I think. Well, we'll see if he catches up. I think.
I can see you now.
If I was going to do this, now we're getting a spinning wheel. Oh no! Oh, there he is. Okay, he's back. If you're going to do it, then at least if you're gonna stage a drama, and that's what I consider like Ghost Adventures and other shows like that. They are like daytime dramas at night, so they're nighttime dramas. So have props. Like I have couple dozen books on my shelves that I could take off that are from the 1800s. Have one of those. Go to your thrift store or a yard sale and pick up an old freaking book and then pretend. But when you actually use the book that you bought off of Amazon, which I have no doubt they did, and then give you that 2-second clip, and
like you can't. You can't tell me that the show doesn't have a budget for a prop department that could, create a convincing grimoire replica.
Right. Something decent. I mean, and I want a side story here. When you reached out to us, because we have a chat going, so it's you, me, Dave, and Tim, and we talk almost every day. And when you reached out and you're like, can you guys do anything? I need a better picture of this. And we started working on it. And damn it, it cost me and Tim both $2 to get a high resolution video of this so that we could not only get a screenshot, but then enhance that screenshot to an acceptable level. So that we could really see not only like the name but all the design, and we could see the design on the back and the text on the back. Not clearly that we could read it, but you could see that it was text and match it up good. So you still owe me $2, bitch, and I'm going to hold you to that. There's Tim. I spent $2 for a Zach episode. And that's like an embarrassment because I actually had to pay for a Zach Baggins episode. The shit we do for good research, but it was a good story. It was a good article that you wrote, And again, I put that in the chat room because it was good, you know, and that's the kind of investigative stuff I like to see, where you can pick out those few frames where that clue is, and that blows the case wide open, you know, and you can really dig into it. And I love that kind of shit. So good job on that.
Thank you.
Redman, question: if you two have watched the movie Grave Encounters, did you have fun watching the movie version of Zach go through hell for 2 hours? I have not seen this. I don't know what this is.
No, the only movie I've seen of Zach's was that Demon House, and
Grave Encounters.
I think I thought that was like a genuine horror film.
It looks like it is. Grave Encounters, for their ghost hunting reality show, a production crew locks themselves inside an abandoned mental hospital that's supposedly haunted.
Okay, so yeah.
He does that every week. He gets possessed every week too, because he's a douchebag. All right. What else we got? We need questions. We got about, let's see, it's an hour. We're an hour and a half in, so we got about 20 minutes left. We are still up, or our tally is at $175. So we're $325 away from me eating this. And I'm on the fence. I'm okay with not eating this.
What are we up to?
We're at $175.
I kind of hope you don't. Like I would not recommend it.
I will put this on my list. So this looks like it's under horror, not rated. So I'm wondering if this is like a documentary kind of thing. You know, maybe a group of ghost hunters made their own little film, because there's a second one. There's a Grave Encounters 2. So I don't know if that's the same graveyard. I don't know. So yeah, we need questions. But other than that, let's see. We talked about ritual magic. We talked about your Bob Larson guest appearance. I feel like we should get an A for effort if you need donations if you eat it anyway. No.
You're funny.
After seeing the agony he was in, I'm not going to do it unless we hit 500 exactly.
Yeah, Kenny is a wuss.
I am a wuss when it comes to spicy stuff. I mean, and then couples that are out there, let me know if this happens to you. I'm a wuss with spicy stuff. She eats spicy stuff.
Love it.
She has eaten things and going, oh, it's not that bad. It's not bad at all.
Yeah. Like,
and then I touch it and go,
and he's like dying, and I'm
awful.
Like, Jesus Lord, like you are, like your taste.
I had, so this is a fun story. We went out to Louisville. We have friends out there, and every year they have this pig roast. Sorry, I had a burp. And I was trying to keep it quiet. So we went out there one year, and I think it was a bottle of vodka. I think it was vodka that they had that was infused with the Carolina Reaper oil.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't know what it was. That was the first time I've heard of it. And I think, was that when I was high?
I don't know. Are you talking when you gave it to
Lou? Yeah.
You weren't. No, you weren't high then.
No?
No.
Okay. All right. So we go out there. That's a different story. We get out there telling us about it. They're like, oh, the neighbor came over. He made this. You know, it's great. I was like, all right, I'll try it. And I swigged it from the bottle, which was probably the worst decision I've ever made in my entire life on this planet. Because I spent a good, I would think, half hour, like on a parked truck, which was not mine, and just constantly like, and letting the saliva just drip out of my mouth because I didn't want to swallow. It was complete torture. So, of course, because I went through it, I was like, oh, my buddy Lou is here.
He should have to do it.
And he should do it. He has no clue. He's drinking.
He's
already wasted.
trash.
And I'm like, that's great. I'm gonna get him good. I went up and I was like, dude, this is awesome vodka. It tastes great. You should try it.
Oh.
And he grabs the bottle and goes
Before he could say anything,
like that.
he like downed some.
And it's great because there was like 12 people that were like, no.
It was too late.
Yep.
I thought he was gonna die.
For the rest of the night, he was down on one knee, head down, sweat pouring off of his face.
He became sober really fast.
Yeah, he sobered up pretty good. I mean, I had a great time. I thought it was hilarious. I laughed the entire time because I knew what he was going through. But yeah, that was my first encounter with the Carolina Reaper, and
so Bob is
good.
saying here,
eat the same percentage of chip as you are to the. Fuck you,
you're
Bob.
so funny, Bob. Ha ha ha.
Fuck you, Bob.
Here's a question.
For JD, have you ever had any weird experiences you can't explain, or any weird experiences that had a pretty cool explanation?
So,
No.
Well, it's not exactly weird, but it freaked me out for a little bit. So, I think this was last year. I had gone for. So this is a long story for a setup. So,
oh shit.
I had been going for a walk, and I found
15 minutes.
This. I found this very pretty colored bird that had just, died. So I took it home and put it in my freezer. My thought was, I'm going to get it taxidermied. Well, it turns out that it's like a special type of bird, and state law says that you can't do anything with that. So it was stuck in my freezer, and I hadn't decided yet what to do with it. I was working down in my basement, and I have a very, very old house. Like, the house was built in like 1900, and there's an unfinished chimney flue in the basement. And I happened to find this like really big dead bird in the chimney flue that, I guess because of it being so dry, it had like completely mummified. So I was like, that's really cool. So I'm totally going to keep that. And it was like in like a sitting bird position. So, it looked like you could just put it on your mantle and there you go. So I had 2 dead birds.
One frozen.
That I was keeping.
One thawed out.
So
he's got a bird fetish.
So I have all kinds of dead stuff in the house.
That's probably not something you want to say publicly.
They're all it's all perfectly legal.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, I was noticing this really awful death smell in my upstairs, and I'm like, okay, something's in the house that shouldn't be. And we found, I don't know how many like dead mummified bats, things like that. We have a bat problem every year, but they don't usually smell,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking all over in this office trying to figure out what the hell is smelling so bad. Well, I notice there's a window over here behind this couch. I noticed there were these 2 dead birds trapped in the window.
What the fuck is up with that house?
Which had started to putrefy. Because this was back in the summer, right? So cleaning that up was a god-awful mess. I hated it. Probably one of the most disgusting things I've ever did. And it kind of spooked me because I'm like, I could not figure out how the hell these birds got trapped inside the window.
Right.
And I'm thinking, and there was a part of me that was like, this is some kind of punishment for those birds I have downstairs. I offended some kind of like,
Bird
native
god.
alien. Yeah, some kind of native bird god that's like visiting this disgusting, maggoty punishment on me. And I think I even sent you guys a photo and was like, like, I don't know what's going on, man, but I'm kind of freaking out. So I immediately, got those birds out of the freezer and just threw them away, just unceremoniously put them in the garbage. Because I was like, I don't know what's going on, but, I'm not going to take any chances that I, pissed something off. Well, it turned out that there was just enough of a gap because the windows that we have are really old. They're not like more modern storm windows.
Mm-hmm.
There was just enough of a gap that they must have somehow fallen in between the two panes, and they got trapped and couldn't get out.
No.
Yeah, I felt awful about it.
Right.
But yeah, so that was the very prosaic explanation for the baffling bird mystery.
Cool. All right. What do we got here? To both of you, what is your most enjoyable Hollywood paranormal story you have researched? Things like Amityville or Exorcist. So for me, so far, it has been the Conjuring house from the first movie. I really looked into it. I spent a lot of time researching that for an article because I went through every claim that came out of that house, mostly historical. As in like the people they claimed died in the house, which I found out none of them died in the house. And that was fun for me because it's, and then I think you share this, JD, but when you start researching a topic and you start digging into it and getting documents or interviews and talking to people that were associated with it or involved with it, you start uncovering the real story, the story behind the story. And you realize like, okay, sensationalized bits of the story are not true. We found out what really happened, and it's really cool. So for me, Conjuring House definitely was the Hollywood story that was enjoyable for me to investigate. What about you?
I'd have to say The Exorcist. That was the first article that I had that was published in the print magazine for Skeptical Inquirer.
Oh, cool.
I did a podcast episode on The Devil in the Details that went into the story in a lot more detail than I had space to go into in the article. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that was a really complicated story. And it was really neat to see that people had already figured it out. There wasn't any kind of discovery that I made. It was all work by other investigative journalists like Mark Obsesnik and Steve Erdman. And the information was out there. It just wasn't kind of in a place that most people would see it,
right?
Especially mainstream kind of news articles and things like that. People weren't really interested in talking about the real story.
Right.
And because people in the mainstream weren't talking about it, people weren't aware that it existed. And I can remember, I'm pretty sure I was in college at the time, and I remember reading something about The Exorcist being based on a true story, and a little bit of details about this boy, 11, 14-year-old boy from Mount Rainier. And I remember thinking like, wow, that's really cool. I didn't know it was based on a true story. I wonder if anybody ever figured out, who it was, what this person's real name was. And, fast forward 7-8 years, and lo and behold, they did. And, with your help, I was able to track down the story, and I was able to confirm the details about it. And we did, confirm the identity of the person. So that was super, super fun.
That's nice. And thank you for the mention, but it's nice when we can work together on that, and it's really cool. And
which now that I think about it, I would like to put an update. So it turns out that he did have living relatives, which I did not know at the time. They have kind of been mum on it.
Mm-hmm.
There was a person that was living with him because he died. I guess that would have been 2020 because I did the article in 2021 and he had died the year before. And immediately after the article came out, a journalist from the New York Post reached out to me and was like, we want to do an article on this. Can I talk to you and ask you some questions? And somebody working for her, I don't know who, actually managed to get in contact with this person and interviewed them. With your help, I figured out who that person was, reached out to them. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to talk to me. They've never messaged me back. But the person that they spoke to for the New York Post, they told them Ronald Hunkler, the boy from The Exorcist, admitted to them he was not possessed. He in their words, he said he was just a bad kid. So I really wanted to kind of get that from them,
Right.
And especially see if he still had any kind of documentation from that time period that could kind of corroborate some of the details.
Right.
Which we might never get that, but at least as far as what that person said, it looks like we can finally give a definitive answer to that case. Case closed.
Yeah.
Wasn't real.
And that's kind of the conclusions that we come to usually when we do these investigations. It's this is what the evidence points to. This is the conclusion based on the data that we have. And unless we get new data, this is what we're going to stand on, and that's how it is. Like that, your conclusion is what we're going to stick with, because unless we get more information or different information that refutes it, then oh well. But you did a good job on that. You did a good job on that story, and it presented all the facts and presented documentation when you got it and you pursued it. That's a good investigation. All right, we got a question from Brian. What are JD's views on mediumship?
I think
you know what? I noticed that Brian did not ask me what my views on mediumship are. He specifically said you. So
well, I'm the guest. So
yes. All right. You're good. You're good.
It does say special guest.
It does. I know. It's special.
Yeah.
You're special.
I think it's just carny tricks. I haven't seen a case of a alleged psychic medium that demonstrated having knowledge that was a genuine mystery as to how they could have gotten it.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a part of sting operations on alleged psychic mediums, like Thomas John, and you can follow along with him doing live readings, and you can, just using Google and social media, you can find the exact same kind of information that he's giving people that he's giving a reading for. Mm-hmm. And there's plenty of other people that have, debunked alleged psychic mediums before. Mark Edwards, James Randi, the list goes on and on. I don't think there's ever been anybody that kind of stumped the skeptics or demonstrated knowledge that was genuinely kind of like, gosh, how did they know that? Mm-hmm. Let alone solve, the people that try to pass themselves off as helping law enforcement. I don't think there's ever been a credible case documented of a psychic medium helping solve a crime that, law enforcement and just good detective skills couldn't solve on their own.
Right. Yeah, to my knowledge, I have not come across any definitive case that says yes.
So I would say, especially if somebody's on the fence about mediumship, or they don't know all that much about it, with the movie Nightmare Alley that's out right now, which I would recommend, definitely go check out the original. I think it's 1947, the original one with Tyrone Power. Fantastic film, and it really kind of pulls the curtain back on the practice of mediumship and doing cold reading, and shows it's all just carny tricks. It's people exploiting other people's need to believe just to make a buck. And that's not to say that in some cases mediums don't genuinely believe that they have powers, or they don't make themselves believe they have powers. At least in some cases, it really does seem to be that people kind of fool themselves into thinking that they have powers. Right. Or, they justify it as, maybe I'm distorting the truth, or, I'm technically lying, but I'm doing a service for these people. I'm helping them. And, I would disagree with that. I don't think that's true at all. I think, and, this is something that it kind of bothers me, because my mother was very close with my grandfather, like as close, as anybody can be with their parent. And, it's been at least a decade, probably longer, since he passed. And she still has a lot of problems working through that grief and processing it. And, on a couple times she's gone to a psychic and had them, give the paltry little readings that they do. And, she really buys into it. And I can definitely see somebody making the argument, but it makes her feel better. What's wrong with that? And, to me, it's when somebody dies, the only thing that you have left of them are your memories of when they were alive, or whatever kind of physical legacy they leave you, in the form of artifacts, like, letters, photographs, things like that. And I just feel like there's something about the kind of totality of that person's memory that gets sullied when you introduce the idea that they're still communicating with you in a very literal kind of way. I just, I don't like, I don't like that.
I agree. I agree. There's that. I mean, we can go several different ways with this, but it's not allowing the grieving process to conclude.
That's a really good way to put it.
You're in the grieving process, and if you think you still have a two-way communication with them, you still have an open line to them, then that grieving process just never concludes. It never finishes what it needs to finish, so you can move on, because you always think, well, I can go back and talk to them. And in so many cases, you're not getting a message from your loved one.
Right.
You're getting a message from the psychic.
And that's not to say that, like, believing that there's an afterlife, or believing that you can still in some way communicate with a person, is inherently bad. But it's the idea that you're going to somebody and you're paying them money to deliver the service of relaying a message, that, to me, that's what makes it like that's where it gets
right.
I agree. I think that maybe
the voice of Donna,
taking that money and putting it towards a therapist would be more beneficial.
Like if you
Right.
want to, you know, like if you
Bring
believe
yourself
that,
through that grieving.
yeah, like if you believe that, you know, through prayer or through, I
Just
don't know,
talking.
yeah, like because my mom will do that, you know, she'll just talk,
I
and
talk.
you know,
I
like
don't.
I don't want to say that, like, you know, I don't want to say that there's anything wrong with that, but you know, when you become dependent on someone else, or when you really buy into the idea that somebody else can perform this service for you, you know, to me, it doesn't matter whether or not that person believes you're providing that service. The fact of the matter is you're selling them a lie. You know,
Right.
you're not really providing the service that you're promising.
Right. And I mean, time and again, you mentioned it earlier about not knowing if there was any case that actually, you know, concluded that there was something like this. I've never heard of any case that came of this. And in my experience, I've sat with dozens and dozens of mediums / psychics or what have you. And I've seen nothing but cold reading / hot reading, because some of them I do know and they know me. So the hot reading comes in because they're friends of mine on social media and they can see stuff. You know, they've followed me along, so they know some of the things. But others that are just clearly cold reading, and this does not help the grieving process. Again, it comes down, like you mentioned that you talk.
Yeah.
And I think that's good. That's self-therapy, because it's more personal. It's not relying on someone that is claiming to be in contact with this person and also charging you a lot of money,
Right.
you know, and you're just to give you these snippets of hope where, and I'm paraphrasing and using examples where, like, oh, you know, I'm sending love, they're sending love to you, they watch over you. And when you get that kind of reading, that fucking just pisses me off, because that's just like straight up bullshit. No, tell me something specific.
Right.
And
you know, if they truly had mediumship abilities, you would think this would be a very easy thing to demonstrate. Say, you know, say something that you couldn't possibly know unless it came from that person. You know, like for
Right.
example, you know, with my mom and I, there's tons of in jokes that we would have that's not shared on social media. You know, potentially that's something that a psychic medium could get from somebody else. But I'm just going to use that as an easy example. You know,
It's just harder to get. Yeah.
yes, there has to be something that a genuinely dead person could say that only they and the person they were trying to communicate with would know.
I agree.
You know,
Right.
some tidbit of information that a psychic medium couldn't possibly have gotten from anyone else. And, you know, to the best of my knowledge, I've never heard of a psychic medium that could produce that kind of information.
And there's a discussion there, because so many people have that idea, like, there's no way a psychic can know that about me. And I know I've gone into this. I know you've gone into this, because you've been part of those teams where there are ways you can find out. There are ways. There are obscure social media posts that people put up years ago, and they don't recall they put it up. They have no memory of putting up, but they did. And I mean, for people like us, and I know I've done this several times, where I sit here and when I'm investigating a certain person, I go through like their Facebook page, and I'm constantly going scroll, going back years. See more. Yep.
Yeah.
Go all the way down. See more. Go all the way down. See more. And I'm going through and I'm finding posts where they're like, "Oh, I did this today," or "Grandmom passed away today, and I'm so upset because we used to do this." And they write out all these memories, you know, because at the time they're grieving, and they're trying to they're remembering the good times, and they're putting this out there, and it's like, all right, your post is out there. So when I spend 10 minutes going through, scrolling down,
Longer than 10 minutes.
well, you know what? It seems like that, but honestly, it's not. If you really sit here and start going through, within 10 minutes, you can go back years on some, and it depends on how frequently they post.
Oh yeah, that too.
You know, like-
it would take me 10 minutes just to do a month of your posts.
Yeah, because I post a lot. But if
Right.
you don't post a lot, you can easily go through until they're beginning, until they join social media, you know, in like 2013 or 14, whatever, you know, it's out there. And one of the things I constantly tell people and advise people that you are not as private as you think you are. And if you have someone that's resourceful and has a lot of subscriptions to certain websites, they can find a lot about you. And I guarantee some of these psychic, especially like, you know, Thomas John is one that comes up. Yeah, I guarantee.
And that's something that's only, you know, I think it's only gotten worse with the pandemic because, you know, people like people like Thomas John that, you know, before could do in-person readings, or they had, you know, like he had a show at Caesar's Palace that ended up being canceled. You know, now they're in a situation where they're giving remote readings. They have time in advance to, you know, either do it themselves or have somebody working for them look up all this information. So, you know, they don't have to have the talent to do a cold reading in person. You know, all you have to do is have semi-decent acting skills and, you know how to look stuff up online. And you can give for most people a very convincing reading.
Right, with very few facts.
I mean, right here. I mean, this situation right here, we could really go into some really hardcore hot reading, because I mean, if you're looking at me, if I'm in the screen, all right, say this is all you see, okay, and we're working, you don't see Donna off to the side, but she's right there. See, there she is.
Hi.
So she could literally, if I turn her mic off, then you won't hear her, but she could be typing up and she can see everyone that's in the chat room. And as soon as you come up and make a comment and say, hey, you know, I'm trying to get in touch with so-and-so, she can click on your name, boom, right on the social media, onto your profile, and start scrolling through.
And that's the worst part when somebody like Thomas John will do events like that, not events where a certain number of people register for the event and those are going to be the only people that he reads, but, you know, other kind of live events that he does. People in the chat will be asking, you know, so-and-so died recently. Can I hear from them? And like, they don't realize how they're just giving him information. You know, they're just making it so easy for him.
I mean, for an example, and this probably good example is that as soon as somebody commented in the chat room, I don't address it. Like if somebody asks a question, like if we go back and look, and like Redman asked a question, and that was like 20 minutes ago. So as soon as that popped up, Donna could be off on the side and look up his profile on YouTube, try to figure out who he is, or if we're even better if it's on Facebook because you actually have a name, look it up, start scrolling through, and then she could send me a message, a private message through here, and I could just be here going, oh, and then, you know, kind of look over like, oh, I'm looking up, and this is something Thomas John has done a lot, where you just look up and like, oh, I'm
he's not even that clever. You'll see him looking down, you know, or off to the side, which, you know, that could be, I have my phone right here, you know, somebody could very easily send messages like that, and all you have to do is glance over and.
But what I'm getting at is that he could ask a question. Somebody could ask a question, and then 10 minutes later, I can say, well, you know what? Let's try and take a question here. Oh, we have Redman that comes up and asks this. And I could be like, well, you know what? I'm kind of seeing this. I'm kind of seeing that. And I could read off information. Do you feel that Warren's fit the dishonest side? Yes. Yes, absolutely. Yes.
This question's been in the stall since 9:45. That's what I'm
Yes.
saying. It's been there for 15
So
minutes.
there you go. I mean, there's no timestamp on here.
I have it.
She has it, but she could have looked this up prior to us and sent me information where I could simply like just be staring off, and like you think I'm staring off in the space, but I'm actually looking at the chat, the private.
I mean,
chat.
if you're a really, I don't even want to say really talented, but if you want to dress it up a little, you could even do something like I think I'm getting something,
Right.
an
reading.
And he'll do that sometimes, but you can also just see him, looking over, nothing subtle about it.
Right.
If you didn't know what he was up to, you probably wouldn't think anything of it.
You wouldn't think, yeah.
But when you catch on, you're like, Jesus Christ, he's not even trying. Like, definitely not a talent. I've never seen him in person. Maybe he's a talented cold reader. I don't know. But like, I'm certainly not impressed with his hot reading skills.
Yeah. His hot reading skills suck. And if you suck at hot reading, because hot reading and cold reading, hot reading, you have information.
Right.
And you regurgitate it. Cold reading, you're kind of giving general shit and seeing what sticks.
Mm-hmm.
It's the throwing shit at the wall, see if it sticks, and you're like picking that out and going with it. So if you
have to have a
hot reading,
kind of like improv ability, because if you're striking out, you have to still somehow turn that into a win. And in some ways, that's easy because people have a tendency, especially if they have a willingness to believe, they have a tendency to forget the misses and retroactively only remember the hits. So the psychic medium tends to look better, in retrospect than they actually performed. Yeah. But there's still a certain level of, being able to, to kind of pivot on a line of inquiry that's not getting anywhere and move on to something else. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Thomas John is more talented at that. I doubt it.
Bullshit. Sorry. All right, let's wrap this up because it's late. We're over the 2-hour mark.
How you feeling, Judy?
How you feeling?
I am feeling pretty darn good.
You're looking good.
So I'm sure I'll message you tomorrow. So oh my god.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that text while you're sitting on the throne going, oh! No pictures, please. No video.
I'll just send you audio.
Oh, great. And I'll listen to it. I totally will. Anyway, do you have anything coming up you want to promote? Promote yourself, whatever. The floor is yours.
Nothing really. I mean, I just dropped, episode of my podcast, The Devil in the Details, this week on the topic of ritual magic. It's probably going to be another mini episode coming in the next week or so about that book that I previously mentioned, The Genealogical Adam and Eve. Other than that, I don't really have anything immediately it's coming out.
Okay.
But, I'm always, I always have ideas on the back burner for future podcast episodes. It's
awesome.
Just a question of when am I going to get around to it? Because I'm definitely not the kind of person that can produce regular content on a schedule.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I try. It's so hard. I'm like, yeah, I can do that. No, I can't.
It's not about trying to have like an open mic kind of, show like you guys do with, your show and Three Tortured Souls and stuff. But then I was like, well, when the hell would I host it? Because, pretty much a lot of people that I think enjoy my show, enjoy your show. And I'm like, with the time and the schedule that I have, like when would I host it, and when would other people be able to do it?
Right.
One thing I'm definitely considering is especially now that I have a webcam and stuff, is trying to do interviews with people. Get people
That'd
to
be
come
good.
on and talk about what they have going on.
That'd be good. And also, if people are interested, check them out on Skeptical Inquirer. You have your own page on there with your articles. The Satanic Skeptic is
Yeah.
your nickname. I like that.
Yeah.
That's nice. That's nice. It shows. It's nice. I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
You should have a T-shirt. Done. You need a T-shirt.
I had
do
a
that.
T-shirt. I had a T-shirt because my wife actually designed the logo for my podcast.
Okay.
Which there was a newer, sleeker, sexier design that she was working on last year, and that got on the back burner indefinitely. Okay. But yeah, I had a mock-up for a shirt made once because I was like, when I go on appearances and stuff, I totally got to promote the brand. But the quality of the shirt was like, so
okay.
I just never got around to trying to get a better screen printed one.
Okay. But, all right. So I am going to go through my announcements. You are welcome to stay if you want to, unless you want to take off. It's up to you. Want to stay? Yeah? No? Yeah?
Yeah, I might duck out early because I got to go to bed.
No problem. No problem. I know you got to get up for work tomorrow, right?
3:30.
Yeah. All right, dude. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it. Thank you for torturing the shit out of yourself. You did good. I mean, we raised $175, which is good.
Yeah, man.
For all the
Good.
Cool.
Yeah, thank you everyone for donations. I'm glad I did not have to eat that thing after seeing your performance.
I am very grateful.
Was I as convincing as Zach?
Yeah. You Zach needs to call you to take lessons.
Maybe we need to give Zach a chip.
Yeah. Zach needs a chip every time he's possessed. Because he's a douchebag. Anyway.
We should send that chip to Zach.
I'm going to clip this out and send it to him. And say,
here's a challenge, Zach.
This is what you need to do when you're possessed, dumbass. All right. You get to bed, get some sleep. Right. I will talk to you soon.
Yep.
Good
night, everybody.
Take care.
Good
Thank
night.
you, buddy.
You too. See you guys.
See you.
Bye-bye.
All right. He is out. Oh, he's gone. Let me switch get back to my there I am. Back in my home frame. All right. So let me actually I'm just gonna throw up Squid Bob's announcements. There we are. That one. All right. So let's see. Saturdays. Every Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern, except for tomorrow. I do Three Tortured Souls, a podcast that I co-host with Tim Vickers and Dave Schumacher. It is an awesome show. I love doing it because the dynamic between the three of us is just so much fun. But we do that show pretty much every Saturday. Yes, tomorrow there will not be a show because of me. I have another engagement that I will be engaging in, and I will not be available for the show. And we kind of make it an unofficial rule that if one of us can't show up, then we just don't do a show because it is Three Tortured Souls. Anyway, so what's next? July 23rd is the Para-Unity Conference or Expo in Woodbridge, New Jersey. I'm going to be out there for that. So will Donna with her Lucky Tiki Creations. That's right. She'll be selling her crafts. So come out and buy it because the more you buy, the less I have to pack up and carry back to the car. But I will be there.
Carry back to the car?
I carry.
Oh, for that expo.
For that
I
expo.
gave you a little bit for that one.
I will be there with my Skeptical Help booth. So I actually have a real booth that I set up that looks kind of like what you see here. And I have some gadgets and stuff that people can play with and test. And I will be there all day for questions. August 19th to 21st, I will also be in Gettysburg for the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash, which is awesome. Probably one of the most fun weekends ever because it's just like a nonstop party. Good times will both be set up there, right? Yes. And actually this year is not just the Skeptical Help booth, it's the Three Tortured Souls that will be there. So the plan is right now, as long as everything stays on schedule, that Dave Schumacher and Tim Vickers will be coming out, and we will have a Three Tortured Souls booth. So, what are you
The
doing?
dog.
We
I'm
can
sorry.
hear you.
Well, I'm talking to my dog, guys. You know
Oh
she's
my
here.
goodness. And then lastly is October 20th to 23rd. SciCon is in Las Vegas, Nevada. It is still on. I checked with Barry Carr, the executive director of Skeptical Inquirer and CSI. It is still on, so I'm hoping to hear more information about that later because I'm hoping to go. And then JD will be there. I think he's saving up to go out there. So really fun. There's more stuff in the works. Not sure what's going to happen because I'm kind of like iffy with some of the announcements and committing to events. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right. So with that done, let me get that off and check the comments. Make sure there's nothing else. Great show. Great show. Awesome, guys.
Any more
Donations? Let me check.
Before we
Refreshing.
wrap
No.
up?
So
Okay.
we are at $175, which is awesome. Any little bit helps. And thank you so much for everyone hanging out and seeing what's going on and just helping out. So because cancer sucks and we need to really kick the shit out of this. That's what we need to do. I think that's it. Is that it?
That's
Do
it.
you have anything?
Nope.
No?
Not right now.
All right. So, people, have a good weekend.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh shit. What is
Monday
it?
is
Monday.
Valentine's Day,
It's
Kenny.
Monday. Oh, crap.
Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Heart Day. Love, 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 love to everybody.
That means I got to go out and find stuff. Monday. Oh, my goodness. I have the weekend. I'll be in all weekend. I have work to do. I have so much to do. Oh, if you want to, I totally forget to do this every time. Is it up there? No, I don't have it up there. I have to put it up there. My Patreon.
Yeah,
I do have a Patreon. If you go to Patreon/Kenny Biddle, so down here you see that link tree. If you go down there, if you like what I do, if you want to support, you can actually go on. There's 3 different levels. 2 of the levels, which are the middle and top tier. Elite. Well, I forget what they're called. I think they're like bar backer, bartender, or something like that. I named them after like bar things. But you can do it. You can contribute a couple of dollars.
Tiffany just said you can give Patreon credits on the show too.
Oh, that's cool. I got to figure out how to do
do
that.
that.
I have no idea how to do that.
Maybe we can just do it like a banner and on the side and just have the
maybe.
names.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Throw them up in the beginning or the end of the show.
You can throw me a couple bucks a month if you want to. If you like the show and it helps. I mean, honestly, the money actually goes right back into the show for subscription to StreamYard and then everything else that I do with this show. That's what I save it for. So it's awesome. I have quite a few patrons, which I love, and I put behind the scenes content back there, so you get pictures and videos that I don't post anywhere else. I'll send a donation. I sent you a message in Messenger asking for the links. Thanks. Okay, cool. But yeah, I do. YouTubers read their Patreon names at the end of the show. So mine is Patreon/Kenny Biddle. That's all I know. It's in the link tree because link tree is awesome because it has all the links. If you go to that website, you put that in there, it has everywhere you can find me. So have fun, have at it. It has my TikTok on there too. So you can see all the haunted stuff that I have. It's not haunted. Anyway, so with that, I'm going to leave because I'm hungry and I need something to eat. And I will see you guys later. I'll see you guys next week. And next week, who do I have? Hold on. Next week is going to be fun because I have a guest scheduled. And my guest is Melanie. Oh, I'm going to butcher the last name. Tresick King. And she does a website about thinking is power. It's all about critical thinking. It's a course that she teaches about critical thinking. And I'm really excited to talk to her So it should be fun. So tune in next week. Anyway, that's it. I'm out of here. I got to get something to eat because I'm hungry. All right.
Night, guys.
Night, guys. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh, I got to do my catchphrase. Never stop learning.